right, guys. Welcome to the Sunday Fufu podcast. I hope you guys are excited because this is our very first episode. So, bro, how you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I was excited when I woke up this morning. I was like, "Yeah, we're about to make history."
I mean, first of all, like one of the first things I noticed was your T-shirt when you first walked in. I was like, "Yo, this guy, like for real, nobody cares, bro."
That's
nobody
right.
cares,
Yeah.
fam.
Ironically, we're on a talking podcast.
Exactly. Nobody freaking cares. But hey, look, I mean, I feel like one of the reasons why you said we are making history is most likely because of our guest today.
Yeah.
The one and only EL.
Yes, sir. Hey.
Charlie, how you feeling, bro?
I'm great. So you guys, your first podcast?
Yeah, I mean, this is like
Very
our
first
first, very
This
first
is
episode.
my first podcast.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, have you ever
See?
been
I've
on?
never been on a
You've never
podcast.
done
It's
one?
history.
Okay.
Yeah, but this is the way to do news these days. I mean, all the other
Yeah.
stuff is, it's very fleeting. You know,
Yeah, it's
you don't
kinda-
really. It's kind of going. So
yeah,
this is the new.
outplayed a little bit.
Yeah,
you
this is
know?
new shit. I like it.
Yeah, this is the new medium.
I like it.
I like that you feel comfortable and
Oh,
are ready
yeah.
to like just open up.
Well,
share.
We'll see. I just met you guys. I don't know you guys. Well, so.
You don't know us like that.
I don't know you
so
guys
Charlie-
like that, so
but
we'll
you
see.
know what's funny about that? Like this is like an all men show. Like
Yeah.
and typically what people say is like when it comes to boys easily make friends.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. We
like,
click
we
easier.
just click easy.
We click a little
stuff like
easier
that,
than
yeah.
girls.
Exactly.
I think so. I
You
think
so, eh?
girls ease into it a little bit more slowly,
Yeah, I
but
feel like easy into it is kind of.
yeah, they do. I mean, they'll size you up, they'll
Yeah.
check you up from a distance, then they'll start getting warmer and warmer. But for guys, if I meet you first 5 minutes, I see you're cool.
Yeah.
We have especially if we have a good dap.
Dap. Yeah, the dap is
Yeah.
everything.
You know,
Say,
say,
Charlie,
Charlie,
this guy is the
Something
vibe.
day.
You know, so
But
we'll see.
Quick question.
Yeah,
why haven't you done any podcasts before?
I just haven't been in the public eye for a while.
no, okay.
I've taken a lot of time for myself, so I see a lot of it going on social media, and I've always expressed interest and planned to do stuff like this. But for the past year and a half, I've just been taking time out for Elon, not
Yeah.
EL, Elon. So
Right,
that's why.
right. I think going forward, we'll just refer to you as Elo.
No. You
Or
call
EL
me.
still.
You call me EL.
Oh, we not reached there yet.
As I've done the shades and the cap and it's.
Oh, okay.
it's
The
EL
branding
time.
be EL at that
It's
point.
EL
Yeah.
time.
All right,
Okay.
cool. So when is the Elon though?
When we are hanging out at the beach or something, chilling out, having a smoke or a drink or whatever.
Oh, okay. So the beach is kind of like your vibe, right?
Yeah, I love going to the beach. It's it's good for the mind. I read or watched somewhere that human beings need to be around a water body always. It's very good for your mental health. It's calming. I find myself away from it for a while, and when I experience it, like a beach or a lake or whatever, it just has that very calming effect. You take a
Yeah, I
deep
feel you.
breath, and so I just love going to the beach. In my free time, I have loads of free time, so I do that.
I feel you.
Yeah, I believe that a man should have three things: a home by the beach, a home a home in the mountain, and a home in the city.
So we want to talk about like the foundations of male relationships, male to male relationships. Like there's this like idea that fundamentally they are kind of weak. Like they are not necessarily meaningful. It's just Charlie, we dap each other up, they give each other fans, then we go our separate ways.
Yeah.
But like, do we have relationships where I go fit come, so by and there, just be like Charlie, so by they go through this thing, Charlie, this be the thing, they break my heart.
Yeah.
Make we talk about time without Zogba judging me, without Zogba feeling like, Charlie, why you
Being vulnerable
why you
around
be,
the other.
Yeah.
excuse me to say, why you being a pussy, that type thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's this idea that Charlie, men generally, that's in, we don't really
Yeah,
get.
it's toxic masculinity.
Yes.
Yeah.
You understand me? So, I, for one, I'm going to talk about like how I feel like, how weak those foundations are generally, right? And I think Zoba probably wants to talk about, he feels like
There are some strong.
some tangible, there's a tangible.
Wait, so he feels
relationship.
like
There's like male to male relationships for the most part. There's a tangible connection there between guys.
and
Right.
you feel
I feel like for the most part, it's superficial and performative.
okay.
Like it's more like, oh yeah, Charlie, we be boys. Charlie, I've got your back. But when it really comes down to it, it's like, substance not really there.
Yeah.
Patriarchy is like one of the main things that people are talking about a lot these days. Right. And like patriarchy in particular, there are certain like ideas there where it's like when it comes to emotions and then showing love and care, it was structured in a way where men have to show it to women, not to themselves. You understand? So it's like you head serve. It's like, Charlie, get up and go.
Even so, I don't think men are allowed these days to show too much emotion, especially towards their girls.
Especially towards the girls, right?
The women.
Because even that one, they'll be like,
because the women will think, say, no, bro,
the women self, they judge you, right?
Yeah, they'll judge you. It's said that she'll be with another guy the next week. If you open up too much.
If you show that side.
I saw that thing on Twitter and I sent it to my girl. And she was like, never. Like, you can cry. And I do. I'm very open with the person I'm with. Very open, whatever I'm going through. Not everything, though. And that's the thing. As a man, you can't go running to your significant half or whoever you're with every single problem that you have as a man. That's one.
Okay.
But when it comes to the topic of what... like what you were saying, toxic masculinity, and are you able to have that kind of emotional connection with your boy? I think so. I think you should be lucky to have a person who you can come to as a man and say, this is what I'm going through, and have them totally get what you're talking about and be that support system for you, because you might not be able to get that from anywhere else. You know, when we're growing up, we go through all sorts of changes, all sorts of challenges, and it can be overwhelming, especially very taxing on our mental health as young men. And Charlie, the amount of times that I have cried alone by myself and not had anybody in the world to talk to. And it gets to a time you feel like nobody knows you because you have nobody to talk to about these problems. And they say, be a man about it.
You wonder if they will fully understand,
grasp the totality of what you are actually going through.
The intensity of what you are going through.
And it can be something very simple, but as a man, dealing with it, it comes with just so many more facets, so many more angles to it. It comes with how you are dealing with dealing to it, or dealing with it exactly, concerning your ego, your pride as a man, and you know, how people will perceive you and what people will say, and can you talk to anybody? It's just so much. So I think you'll be very, very, very blessed and very lucky to have like a group, if you are the luckiest guy in the world, a group of guys who actually come together and plot and scheme and say, okay, this is what A is going through, this is what B is going through. I'm going to support A in this way, he's going to support me. Charlie, that's the most powerful thing in this world.
So, I want to start off with a bit of like an anecdotal story. When I was in Presec, I was lucky to meet a couple of friends, and we used to literally talk, like when we were in boarding house, we would spend about, once D-Hall was done and we went to the dorms.
Hey, D-Hall, you go Presec.
Bro, see, we would literally spend all day till we had to go to prep talking. And we would talk about everything. We would talk about like education, we talk about life, we talk about problems. And to me, right? Those friends have stayed with me up until now.
Great.
And I can go to them, like you said, I'm lucky enough to have that system where I can go to and I can be vulnerable around them, and that's okay. Now, what I want to say, like in direct conflict to what you're saying, is I think that it's kind of backwards. So I think that because people are afraid to be vulnerable around people, it's hard to build long-lasting relationships, because being vulnerable around somebody else allows them to be vulnerable around you. There's a trust element there. In order to find other people that you can be vulnerable around, you have to be vulnerable around people.
So when it comes to the bro code in particular, it's often felt like the bro code has been set up to sort of, how do I say this, empower men to like partake in certain toxic masculinity behaviors. You understand me? So I'll use an example. If Zogba has a sister, right, and I can't, for most of the time, one of the things that people put in the bro code is, I don't go if you come out and says, I don't go if you talk plus and says that way. Do you get what I'm saying? Or at the last, I have to ask him for permission, like, yo, bro, I want to talk to your sister. I feel this way. And even that one is even like a whole thing.
True.
Right? So that ownership, that ownership where Zogba feels like, you know, to get to his sister, you have to go through him. You understand? That's the kind of thing or example of how people feel like the bro code sometimes is set up to sort
it
of
applies to that.
amplify, you know, these toxic ideals.
Yeah.
You get
But
what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
think it's toxic, though.
You don't think it's toxic?
I don't think it's
because
toxic.
she's her own person. She can talk to whoever she wants to talk to.
Yes.
Right? Fundamentally.
Right. In that sense.
Yes. But
in that sense,
in this
it's
case,
a bit
you feel
toxic
like,
because,
you for talk plus me
you're
first.
right.
You get
You're
what I'm
right.
saying? But she's
You're
her own
right.
person. Why do you feel like
You're right.
you own?
So that's in that case,
Exactly,
it is toxic.
But let me lend some perspective to that, because whatever relationship you are going to have with his sister is going to affect your relationship with him. It is. Because even though she's her own person, if his sister and you, let's say, have beef and have a bad breakup, you can't go to his house to hang out with him anymore. As long as his sister is around.
it gets complicated.
Yes.
It
It adds a different dimension to your friendship. And also, there will be times where his sister might expect you to step in, or he might expect you to step in if there's something going on. He also there are certain things that he might not, and I'm not saying he should be able to, but he might not be comfortable talking to you about with regards to your sister and his relationship, which he would be able to talk to you about if it was anybody other girl that he was going through. So again, talking about the vulnerability, let's say his sister is somebody who, his sister is being very difficult and unreasonable. If it was another girl, he might be able to come to you and be like, yo, she's being difficult, she's being unreasonable. And you'll be like, he'll be able to actually break it down and talk to you about it. If it's your sister, there are certain things that he might not be comfortable saying because he feels like he can't talk to you. He can't even like really talk to you.
Yeah, it really throws a wrench into the relationship.
Yeah, it will add, and it will add a different dimension. It will be like, like I like to say, it will be like there's a baby between the three of you. It's like there's a baby between the three of you, and like nobody really wants to address the baby, but you all know it's there because like you know.
I mean, as opposed to if it's just some random girl.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not as it doesn't complicate things as much,
and that's why I think that. Even in that situation, the conversation needs to be had with you first. Like, look, I'm interested in dating your sister. It's not that I'm coming to you for approval to date your sister. I'm going to do it. I was going to do that anyway. But like,
I want to know how you feel.
Exactly. And I also want you to understand that these things are going to start happening. And there might be some discomfort and some tension between us. But what we really need to do is that, like, if we need to talk about it. So if you feel like I'm doing something to your sister you don't like, you need to be able to talk to me about it. Like, you know, that conversation definitely needs to be
What if the guy is a dickhead and he wants to date your sister?
Hey, man, again, my sister is her own person. If that's what she wants.
The womanizer, the guy be player, the guy will chop your sister, wait, he go bounce the next
Let me tell you something. I will tell what I'll do is I'll talk to my sister.
You talk to your sister.
I'll let my sister know.
That should actually happen to me, bro. Actually happened to me, man. And I had to leave the girl. Like, I knew this guy, and I started going out with his sister. And you go talk a whole bunch. Lies.
Him.
The boy go break me to the
why
girl.
you do that, though?
Yeah, and so this girl starts to ask me questions about all these things that she's hearing, and I get frustrated, and I leave. So it affected our relationship.
Absolutely.
You still boys?
So what?
You still boys?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay.
We're not. Because of that.
Oh,
so you see how I understand where he's coming from. That it really throws a wrench into the relationship if you don't have that conversation.
Do you think he actually did that because
he didn't know? Because we pulled up on him. No, we pulled up on him one day together, and he got frustrated about it.
That's why you need to have the conversation.
That's why you have to have the conversation.
So it was a petty thing then?
It was a petty thing. It was a petty thing. Yeah. And I could have kept on going out, but I felt like, Charlie, the way my man do me, then it messes up a lot of things. So that bro code needs to be there.